In Canary Wharf, where finance and technology and entrepreneurship meet. There weren't very many female applicants to our space, and that was really disappointing for me. And I remember running an event a few years back, I think you were speaking at this event as well, and we were asking the question, why were there so few women in tech and also in finance and tech? And part of the rationale was that many of the female entrepreneurs didn't get airtime. There were many tech entrepreneurs, but the media didn't talk about them. They were sort of hidden entrepreneurs. And so we wanted to support these women and call them out and produce some content around their business. So we did that. I helped create a magazine called 100 Women in FinTech, which was supported by Innovate Finance, a new trade body. And everyone thought it was impossible, but we actually found 100 female leaders in FinTech. So I think there's a problem around visibility. And so when you meet an entrepreneur and they're pitching for some funding, we don't identify that entrepreneur as viable because she comes in a certain package. And if we are used to seeing Steve Jobs and Richard Branson and those figures as the ultimate entrepreneurs, when any one of us walks in the room, we're less believable. And so I think the media has a role to play to highlight some fantastic examples of entrepreneurship. And I was also speaking to many of these female founders and examining their financing journey. And what I found were some really, really sad statistics and sad experiences around, being sexually harassed while they were trying to raise financing and being asked out on dates and not being taken seriously and being really driven down in the negotiation of the deal. And the statistic is that women only raise £10,000 to every £15,000 that a man raises, and is half as likely to secure the financing that she needs, even if she has the same business potential. And part of the problem we discovered by running this event is that there aren't very many female VCs or female angel investors. And therefore, the evaluating panel isn't taking into consideration the customers of the female entrepreneur's business. So I'm much more likely to invest in a business that I will use myself. And many women are building businesses that appeal to female customer base. And so if you have an all-male judging panel around, do we finance this woman's business, if they're not able to understand the product, they're less likely to understand the value of the business and invest in it properly. Women also tended to negotiate themselves down. They said, actually, I need $250K to get this business up and running. But just before they walked in to the pitch, they thought, oh my God, if I just got away with 200, that would be fine. And so they just raised enough to fail. So it wasn't enough that they actually needed, and so women weren't asking for exactly how much they needed when they were going to raise financing, and that was a problem. So along with social bias and the lack of female investors, there's also an issue for us to address, which is know your numbers, ask for exactly what you need, and don't back down. And I think there are a lot of different programs in play right now to help you through the financing journey, helping you understand how to best articulate your business, the value of your business, your exit strategy, how you're going to scale. So there's a lot of support right now around that, and support to help develop your confidence and your assertiveness in that pitch, because it is a time when you are on the spot and you are going to be negotiated with, so you have to prepare for that emotionally as well as intellectually. But these are some of the challenges that we discovered. So my company ran a program called Fit for Femme to help female entrepreneurs find financing. And we also wanted to, sorry to go on, We also wanted to highlight there are so many different options for you to find financing. You don't need to go the traditional VC route, you don't need to go the traditional angel route. There are all these wonderful innovations using crowdfunding and peer-to-peer lending and invoice financing, or your friends, family, and schools, or this sisterhood, or whatever it is. There are lots of different ways to find money.
So I was 22, out of film school, wrote a bit of PHP. I was obsessed with independent filmmaking, right? So I wanted to write a script that independent filmmakers could use to fund their films. So I remember writing this, and I remember specifically saying, can I just find a middle-aged white dude to do this, please? Please just raise the money. And like, I'm from LA, so when I met these two guys from the Valley, I was like, great, I'm in Burbank, which is completely different, right? So I had to learn what Valley Sharks were talking about. And these guys came in, and they talked about a bucket shop brokership deal, and how I could take my little bit of tech, hedge it against this ticker symbol, and it would drive up the stock, and I could run. So I was like, great, sounds amazing. Where do I sign? I just want to build my tech, like, leave me alone. That middle-aged white guy can do it better than me, right? Oh, did I get totally screwed on that deal. And now when I run my money, or run my business, I have self-funded with that horrible deal that I've learned not to ever do again, but I've self-funded every business I have, and I literally do a visualization workshop where I will mentally go through exactly who I want on that board of directors. I will make them up if they don't exist, but a guy that does this, a woman that has X, you know, another woman that loves Y but is into X and sometimes can be this. You know, I literally will go through the panel of what I need to get rid of myself right away now, because I'm learning how to be a better entrepreneur. The stuff that I did at 22, I didn't do at 25. I did other stupid stuff. But now that I've turned 26 and turning 27, now I'm going into my 30s and I'm building one hell of a company. If I don't get super smart fast, oh wait a minute, I have the power all along. So this is where I'm learning as I'm cultivating myself, you know, where do I self-fund? Who do I best get in to fill the gaps when I can't? You know, how do I put together a team that's going to be kick-ass if I decide that I can't, you know, do something at that moment, right? This is all the stuff that you have to learn along the way. And I really hope that I can leave one message for all of you, to not be afraid to go do it yourself. Because waiting around on investment and taking that time to go raise funding, oh my gosh, get on with building your business. That's what I have to say.
Well, I'm performing arts background too, actually, so that's two of us on here. So I'm going through dance background, and actually started working through luck, actually, for American contacts with digital video in the kind of early 90s, and very much got into looking at identity, really. That's probably the easiest way to say it. And I got involved in a huge amount of projects which were linked into how we look at our bodies and how we look at others, and what Sarah was talking about in her introduction, which is in my book, is about otherness and why we have such problems with otherness. Because everybody is somebody's other. Whoever you're looking at, you think you're other to me, and I'm not sure whether you're right or not. Sarah's little thing about, you know, can we find something? You're looking at me going, same to me, you know. So this is a two-way thing, this issue. So I took that in through the dance sector into this very pioneering art sector scene, which developed most of the wearables and most of the robotics side that we see around today. So I've worked a lot with robotics, wearables, motion capture, telepresence, full body telepresence, so very early Skype stuff, and avatars, anything where we're representing ourselves. Done huge projects one called Robots and Avatars, looking at how young people will see themselves in the future world, work and play. So I now do a lot of curations. I present a lot worldwide, talking about this whole identity and technology stuff, and how we actually get technology to work for us better and connect us and enable much more understanding between people across the world. So I've got this year coming up Future Fest, which is in Tobacco Docks in the middle of September, which is a huge festival of looking at future love, future work, future play, future thrive. 2-day nutty weekend to come along, 17th, 18th of September, looking 10 to 30 years ahead. What's way out there? And I'm doing future love, which is a fantastic thing to do. Actually, my expertise now is called digital intimacy. That's what I talk about worldwide. So, doing a lot with digital intimacy, connected culture.
Is that robots? Like making
Oh,
love with
yeah, love and sex and robots. Yeah, connected dildos. They're very good. There's some very good ones out there. Yeah, I could go on about this for a long time. Oh yes. Connected love is a very big thing. It's been in the art sector and experimental sector since the 90s. It's now out there on sale. There's a lot of very good products on that side. Dealing with shifting identities. So like the whole of the gender shifting side is very big in this area. So we're dealing with diversity through culture, through agenda, through massive shifts that are going to happen in the next 10 to 20 years. And otherness is part of it. And we know that one of the biggest problems in the world is this problem of otherness, how people see otherness and deal with it. So actually technology's got a big part to play in actually helping that. And that's where my work is focused on. Who else?
What's the question?
what you're working on, where you come from.
I think some of you attended Women in Tech last year, our meeting. Did you? Anybody? Darn. Okay. All right, so then I have to tell you. So originally, started out in chemical engineering. Didn't like that. I didn't like buildings, rooms with no windows. So I said no. But then, what do? I go work for government intelligence, and what do? They put you in a room with no windows. And I didn't particularly like that either. But I still wanted to do intelligence, so I left that part of the world, government intelligence, law enforcement, all of that government side, and I went to the dark side, as I call it in the world, of intelligence, and that's corporate intelligence. And voila, I found my true calling. That was because you can have a personality in the corporate world, and you can get stung for it if you're a little bit too much of a personality, but I'm not going to give that up. That's what makes me good at what I do. And I decided that I was just going to go for it. So I got a job working in... yeah. So I got a job working in, engineering. So it was engineering, and it was for Navistar, which is a company that makes the engines in big trucks. And I love cars. So got a job being their intelligence person, and that's competitive intelligence. You're basically doing somewhat similar to what the government does, except you're not spying, you're not doing it unethically, you're not dumpster diving. You're actually going out, you're gathering open source information, you're talking to people, you're getting information from people. You're basically adding the qualitative aspects to the quantitative aspects, and you're helping them understand where their white space is, the potentials where they want to go forward, who they're competing against, where they want to go, what they want to do, and just helping them get to the next step. So I decided to do that, and it works. It works for me. I love doing what I do. I love helping people, but the real thing that I love doing is when I find a new subject. And that's one of the reasons why I didn't like working in government. They kind of stick you in one area and you have to go. I love the idea, the whole future. I'm gonna have to
We're all
this.
going to that.
I'm so in. But my biggest project right now is I love augmented reality. Virtual reality, augmented reality, mixed reality, that is just, and AI, those are my little dreams right now, and that's where I'm working on getting in projects, mostly in that area. I mentor some startups in Mass Challenge, so if anybody's a startup and they want to apply for Mass Challenge, that's open, by the way, open last week. Please apply. Application period ends June 29th. And I like to do so much. It's a little crazy, the things that I like to do. But does everybody know what marketing intelligence and competitive intelligence is? Do you have a clue? No. Please tell me you have a clue. Everybody knows. Score! Score! I just want to make sure, because sometimes people don't understand what exactly it is. And I just tell people, I tell the story of data. I'm an analytical storyteller. And that pretty much grabs it all. And I like meeting people to get information. No, it's all actually, that's the best part. It is meeting people because that's how you build your knowledge. And it's meeting people in different sectors, different types of jobs, different positions, and actually also the built up knowledge of your life. It adds to my knowledge base because that's information that, you know, this is the best computer in the world right here. Not mine particularly, but everybody has it, and there's so much information in there that just getting it out there, you know, people like Jennifer want to hack it all the time. Get all the information out of our heads.
So part of the piece that I picked up, you know, particularly about the people point, and I think it's so important. If we kind of just reflect as a whole, what would you reckon? Who would perhaps one or two of your mentors be or have been in your career? How have they helped you? And what advice might you provide to anybody who is starting out in the tech industry and who's seeking to succeed? So 2 different questions there. Answer either one or both.
Well, mentors-wise, I think I've got a couple of amazing mentors who've been, one of them I've actually had since I was in an internship, and when I was 21, so that's like 30 years ago now, so I'm probably the eldest on this panel, the reason why she's been so amazing is that she is a critical friend. Yeah, she is a critical friend. She's a very close friend, and I know that she loves me and is very loyal to me, but she's never stopped questioning what I'm doing in quite a tough way. And that's been very, very helpful. And I think that's what, when I'm mentoring now, I mentor actually Anne-Marie Imophidian from the STEMx, which is a fantastic group, and I am her critical friend, yeah. And she allows me to be that critical friend. So what you don't need is the mentor who's going to pat you on the back and say, oh, that's lovely, darling, or you did that so well. You need someone who's going to ask you the tough questions and who's going to actually, in the nicest way, because they're with you, yeah, just go, but what the hell is that going to do for anyone? What, you know, where's that going? Yeah, no one's going to get that, yeah. So I think that mentor side, that's find a couple of people who can, and accept that, and ask them to be tough, yeah. Ask them for the tough side of it. So starting up today, take your time. Do not get rushed. Do not get pushed into coming through with anything, service or product, at the speed of knots, which is about money, not about what you're making. Yeah, we've got this balance to get between the values of your ideas and what you are coming through with your passion for that idea that might have been with you since you were very young. Yeah, often. You know, I've been working on the same thing for the whole of my life. Yeah, I feel like I'm still repeating the same thing, but I've still got more to do, yeah. But that values, the reasons why I'm doing that, and my passion to do that, I need to have very balanced with the value, i.e. the economic that comes out of it. So we need to be given time to research and develop. We need to be able to go, you know, labs and incubators are really important in terms of actually resources and support and mentoring and skills development and exchange, and actually to be able to experiment and to get feedback, to have user experience points all the way through from the beginning of the project through. Don't think you should start something without having user experience groups. Start right from the beginning, having inputs from friends, from family, from other people around you, and then go to minimum viable product, go to an MVP. But actually, you've just got to reiterate from that, and that shouldn't be the point when you're having to go to market. So just ask for time, and that's where we've got to get back to, I feel, is just too fast track to speed money, and that's why a lot of things